It's fat.
It's fat.
Fat literature.
We're here to speak about the spoken word, and we can't wait to hear from you guys because you both know so much, and I know you're going to enlighten us. So please, I leave you the floor.
All right. I'm just going to reflect in a brief description. In the last 30 years, the so-called poetry scene has changed dramatically. Latino poets and African American poets in particular have brought poetry onto a new plateau, new stage. And that is because we were often excluded from the poetry scene or the blank page. We had to create a situation where our voices will not be stifled. Out of that came the influences, of course, of jazz, of music, of theater, and poets took it home where it first started. We weren't allowed to read in the college circuits, so we took it to the apartments, we took it to the galleries, we took it to the so-called streets, and it wasn't about street poetry, it was about making something happen. And in short, what happened was that the poets started reflecting the social and political and cultural conditions of our neighborhoods. Yeah. And as a result of that, we went into a thing of being more than just a voice representing our peoples and our concerns. We started giving the word new sound, new rhythm. From that, jazz became beat. From beat, we have hip-hop and rap. Now we have slam poets versus jam poets and so on. And we're still working to let people know that tomorrow is another blank page and that our poetry has always been there from the very beginning.
Sure.
But right now we're creating a bridge of communications with a multiracial heart. Mm-hmm. And
this is a good segue into the other part that you were bringing up in terms of the performance. And we've all had conversations either amongst ourselves or our peers about, the spoken word versus the word on the page.
Yeah, how it seems, sometimes it seems like the spoken artist or sometimes...
African American poetry and Caribbean poetry, mm-hmm. including Puerto Rican. That poetry is written just as much to be heard as it is written to be read. And so you can hear it on the page. You hear that music coming at you. In Puerto Rico, poets used to square off against one another, mm-hmm. what they call the decima, which is a 10-line poem that rhymes, right? And so we would square off against one another with a crowd of people standing around, and which one of us could out-rap, check that out, the other, right? Is the one who got the accolade, right? And he had to make the stuff up right there on the spot.
Well, this is no different than what went on in Northern Boulevard up here during the 60s, where the guys would hang out on the corners and they would, rap back and forth. But I'm not debating that, but I'm talking about on that other level that, I think, where I'm getting at is that, it is a craft.
Yes.
It is a craft.
Right.
And a lot of people want to do poetry, and that's great, but, I think that part of the craft is wanting to do it. And the other part of the craft is the reading and the learning and the process that goes to make it what it is.
And there's a step further, and that is that a lot of so-called minority writers or ethnic writers, we were reduced to just being ethnic, mm-hmm. To being colored. Mm-hmm. And it didn't take into account that we brought two continents together through the art form and the craft and so on. And we're still fighting those stereotypes. They are saying that people are not interested in our literature, we're the Puerto Rican poets, you can't see their books and so on. Our people have been writing even before language became sound and sound became, the metaphor and so on, mm-hmm. because we live the poetry that we create. The poetry doesn't just come from us as poets or cultural visionaries. It comes from the roots, from our own people. And so we reflect those voices.
Absolutely.
And that's why we call it the spoken word. It's not just about us, it's about, we are ourselves transmitting the art form, but the art form is also creating who we are.
Absolutely.
5, 2 equals 10 divided by 2. That element will never allow freedom to wear mask. To act like all we know how to do is talk about money and chase the gas. Again, I'll pass. Moments, all different vibes, take it there. As long as you're on your own path to freedom, no one else should care. And if they do, beware. Positivity we need to channel through our bodies and do our best to be ourselves. Evolve at our pace. Think about energy as access to live in your own time and space. Connections that manifest, supporting the blessed. We can make love or war, you know who we are. Original people with beats that make you dance so intensely we create connections that manifest, supporting the blessed. We can make love or war, you know who we are. Original people with beats that make you dance so intensely we create traveling away through the reality created by a destructive thought process. Inflicting pain and doubt on a global level. What is to be done when everyone has adapted to an evolution of ill will? Our friendships give us hope. Friends that have gone on to their path, returning to say hello, give you information to continue the work they left, to add to your own. Most theories don't leave room to appreciate the powers of the universe as a whole. Creating religion, implementing division, wars of lands, culture, race, gender, faith, a present fact. We can't go back, and forth is undoubtedly coming. Now, if we as a human race could concentrate on we, it would be me and you. Free millennium and peace and unity.
Oh, that was great.
In my briefcase, it says priority seating for unpublished poets. If you see this in the train, you get up and you give an unpublished poet your seat. Thank you. And then, shut up. That's a baby. I love babies. Okay. Anyway, before I read the poem I'm supposed to read, there's a poem I read every day, and I don't care what I've been told to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's called Telephone Booth number 905 and a half. And if I don't read this, I can't read a damn thing. Woke up this morning, feeling excellent. Picked up the telephone, dialed the number of my equal opportunity employer to inform him, I will not be in to work today. Are you feeling sick? The boss asked me. No, sir, I replied. I am feeling too good to report to work today. If I feel sick tomorrow, I will come in.